Hey guys, before you watch this Space Hog video, I just want to apologise for the microphone that's clearly visible during most of it. The reason that this happened is that we kind of broke an XLR cable just before it. We normally think about not putting something like this out, however we feel that it would be a disservice due to the quality of the interview. Hope you enjoy it. Peace. Welcome to Rezzed. We're here checking out Space Hulk, and I've got Thomas who's going to introduce himself and then tell us a little bit more about the game.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Thomas, and I'm the CEO and founder of Full Control, and we're the team behind the new Space Hulk.
So, not giving me like one of the tiny people here is just like, I am the head cheese. I am the big man. Why? Because I want to have a look at my own game, and it's awesome.
Yes, it is awesome, and I'm really proud of the team and the effort that we have in here, and it's just absolutely amazing being able to show this game to the public for the first time.
I would have gone the other way if I was like in the CEO position. I'd be like, of course there are people who put in hard work on games like this, but in honesty, it's all me. I'm the person that pretty much did everything. It's all me. Those other guys, no, it's all me.
Nah, I have a fantastic team. It's just I have this personal, really interest in Space Hog, and it was my push of getting this done, and I'm just so happy that we're reaching this level now, and have this awesome game that the team created. Just happy.
Fair enough. So, for those that don't know much about what Space Hulk is, let's see if you can, in one or two sentences, just kind of give people a filler, as I'm sure you've had to do quite a few times over this weekend.
Oh yeah, we had huge interest. Space Hulk essentially is like the haunted house of Warhammer 40k. You have the Terminators coming in and these derelict spaceships trying to eradicate gene stealers while still being in their territory. So you're vulnerable, you have to cover your flanks. It's a little bit like running a SWAT team into hostile territory.
It's very much going to have some kind of turn-based style themes, like people that are familiar with games like XCOM. They're going to kind of see some similarities in the way that the game plays out, but then that's pretty much where it stops because features and things are going to be different. And it's from playing Space Hulk myself, it's a lot more claustrophobic and close than some of the levels of something like XCOM. That are, you've got some big open areas that you can just kind of choose your way to go.
Yes, XCOM is much more open. It's about cover. It's about moving your squad around in open areas. Here, it's very much the claustrophobic feeling of being inside the corridors, being these slow, big tanks moving around, and not being able to shoot past each other. So you have to do a lot of tactical movement within narrow, confined spaces, and that is part of the claustrophobic feeling and the gameplay. There's also the other change of the Space Hog being a tough game. You're the underdog moving into the enemy territory, which XCOM doesn't have in the similar way. And at the same time, XCOM players will recognize that it's a beautiful game. It has easy to access UI. It has some of the same core mechanics, but at the same time, it's a different beast underneath it.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the essentially the prep screen for the mission here, and we can see that you've just got very narrow, very tight corridors. You've got a few options of which kind of corridors you want to take to certain places, but it's a lot more enclosed. You don't have that freedom and that openness. And this first mission that we're going to be taking a look at is called Suicide Mission, which is a great kind of name for a starting mission.
Yes, and it's Suicide Mission in many ways. It's both Suicide Mission in terms of you're going to most likely die 3 out of 5 times, at least. And there are some of the known tactics around this map also involve flaming your own guys. So there's different ways you can interpret Suicide Mission.
I remember doing that in the old Space Hulk game. Was just like the flamer guy would just kind of be behind the main first guy, so you'd always kind of just be like, well, it was an honor serving with you.
Yeah, and that's actually my favorite tactics on this one, is to use a flamer aggressively. I also know that there's another tactics where you escort your flamer up with bolter guys in front and behind, and move him slowly, purposely up to the control room. But I'm the aggressive type.
Okay, so should we jump in and take a look at the game and talk a bit more? So explain to us what the objective of the Suicide Mission is, apart from not die.
not die. For example, yeah, the main objective of Suicide Mission is that you just entered the Space Hulk, Sin of Damnation is called. The Gene Stealers have a chance of escaping in lifeboats, and you have to use your heavy flamer to flame the control room for these lifeboats, and basically keep them contained inside the Space Hulk so you can eradicate them all.
Okay, so we need to drop our squad, guys. Let's see what setup you're going to go with for this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go the setup that people complain about. So I'm the aggressive type, as I just said, so I'm going to put my flamer first. And
I guarantee we've got people that are watching this video that are just going to be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I've seen several forum posts about this one already. But it's simply the one that I found works for me and the playstyle I have. I win many times at least.
See, that's the thing. It was just like, what are you doing? You're going to get them all killed. And you're just like, well, actually, I'll win. So I must say, though, looking just at the UI and everything, the tiny screen in the corner. The tiny screen in the corner.
Yeah, we have... Up here, we have the shoulder-mounted camera on the selected Terminator, and you can actually see the environment inside. So we can, for example, open the door now here, and you would be able to see the confined spaces he's walking in.
I love the camera is so good. I'm just kind of sat here grinning from ear to ear, just really nerding out over the tiny little camera view.
It gives a great view of the interiors here, and just adds to this claustrophobic atmosphere that you can actually now see the weapons and see some. And in a nitty-gritty style, you're still the guy sitting up on the strike cruiser commanding your unit. So the UI is supposed to mimic your view that you have moving your troops around, and you're seeing the video feed from the selected Terminator and what's happening.
I love the fact also that Terminators don't care about personal space. It's just like, looking at the little screen, it's just like, and now here's a close-up of the back of my mate's head.
Yeah, and you can even zoom down here in the overview and have all these small details about guys sitting over in the corner with skulls. You have all the purity seals and the machines, praying for machine god, a small altar over here. Just lends a lot to this ambience.
I just want to point out on these little small details as well that currently we're sat on a laptop, so this isn't on the highest graphic settings. So even the detail that you've got here isn't the highest amount of detail that's going to be there at all.
No, far from. If you're running this on a high-end PC with a really great graphics card, it looks so much better, and it looks really great even here on the low setting, so you can actually run the game in a beautiful setting on a laptop or lower-end machines. So we're trying to get it out to as many people as possible and still keep the look great and ambient.
Okay, so let's go on and head down one of these corridors and see what happens.
Yeah, and to those that don't know the rules, basically all the Terminators have 4 action points. You can see down here, and you have a random amount of command points that are free action points that you can use inside a turn. And it's about managing these action points.
So I'm going to be really annoying while you're playing through this and ask you some irritatingly hard questions and see if you can still play the game and get these questions as well. So before we start, you were mentioning that, you used to play Space Hulk and it was this kind of childhood thing of you'd go around and play Space Hulk. What's it like to go from that to now being, head of a company and being like, for the next game, Space Hulk, I want to make a Space Hulk game, and then finally getting that license and just being like, this is it. We're actually now able to make this game.
I mean, yeah. How do you even? I don't even know what to say. It's just a childhood dream. That how can that ever happen to me? But it's absurdly fantastic to be able to do it, but also puts a little pressure on yourself and the company to make something that you really wanted to do for so many years, and we want to do it right. We want to cater to ourselves as fans and to everybody else as fans, and just do the absurdly best we can. And I really think we hit it. The feeling of playing the game is a board game and it's still a video game. It's really beautiful as well.
You mentioned to me again just before we sat down that you were trying to create something that was an experience that people who know Space Hulk and an experience that people who know the Games Workshop kind of style of doing things would be happy with? You didn't want to kind of upset the rabid mass that is the Games Workshop fans.
No, and we don't want to have this game being a dumbed down version of Space Hulk. We want to deliver the true Space Hulk game, and all the fans of the Space Hulk franchise should play this game and say, yes, this is Space Hulk. And all the 40k fans should say, yes, this is 40k, looking at the environment, looking at Terminators, getting their first real turn-based game in the 40k universe since Chaos Gate. And also the XCOM, Frozen Synapse, other tactical turn-based players should pick this up and give it a go, because it's a really great game. And they might have missed out on it because the limited run of the 3rd edition board game, it's almost impossible to get it these days. I can see I already messed up some of the tactics of forgetting to put the guy into Overwatch. Let's just start shooting people.
I must admit, I was sitting inside watching this, like, he's talking, but I wonder if he's seen that they're creeping round the side. Oh, there we go. Blam!
Got one.
Down he goes.
I got at least 2 spaces down. I still have some action points left down here, but it's slightly messed up my tactics of playing aggressively. But I got now 3 tiles, and if you calculate the statistics of getting this guy in Overwatch, should be enough. I'm gonna hit him up. So my tactics here is basically moving down and controlling this corridor intersection with my flamer. I'm gonna dominate that while I'm gonna see if I can sneak a guy past these gene stealers over here. And if I can get a Terminator around, I can get him down here opening the door, and once he's open, my flamer can come down here, flame in the back, and I win, sacrificing the unit for the good of the Emperor.
Poor guy that you're going to sacrifice. I bet he doesn't even know at the moment. The flamer guy already is like completely aware of what he's going to do, and the other guy's like, don't worry, I'll go clear it out, then I'll just kind of run back down the corridor, I'll get out your way, and you can flame it. And the guy's just like, yeah, sure, that's totally what's about to happen.
Yeah, I have 2 chances, so if one messes up, the other guy can still fulfill his role.
Can live up to his destiny. So you mentioned XCOM. I have to bring up, because it's quite interesting that the game did so much for this kind of genre and style of games. It must have been quite worrying that you were working on this when that launched. You have to kind of put a little bit of faith in, well, if it goes terribly, we can then try and redeem this style of game, and that would be us redeeming it, and that's really great. But if it does terribly, at the same time, it means that we've got the issue then of less people may be willing to try a game. But if XCOM does really well, it sets us up, but it also may cause some issues because XCOM does really well. It's quite, but it must have been quite interesting to watch it kind of like launch and see how it was received and all that.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm so happy both for that, for Fireaxis, and for us as well, that XCOM actually did make a big dent in bringing turn-based strategy games back in the limelight, and also show that there is a general interest in these more hardcore games, so that we can get these back, because not everybody wants to play these interactive movies where you like more or less click one button and move you forward into some shallow, action game. Sorry. Having the thinking man's games back in full glory, it's fantastic. And XCOM, yes, did put a pressure on, but they made it, and it opens a door for us as well.
I just have this idea of Space Hulk, the action game, that's like press X to make sure your Marine doesn't die, or if you want to flame a corridor, you have to spam a button, and it's just like these. And they tried to give each of the Marines a backstory, and it's just like, he's here because his father was killed by a gene stealer, and it's just like the people that kind of actually play Warhammer are just like, oh god, this is terrible. And one of the other Space Marines is just like, you killed my sister, and it's like press X for revenge.
Yeah, but Also, I mean, it's not a game for me in that regards. But if you look at, for example, Space Marine, it opened up also for that there is room for other genres and there is a success. But it's these many many have forgotten to add the turn-based strategy games that 40k universe is built around. Those games just not made anymore for some particular reason, and they only concentrated on making all these other ones. We're bringing that back, hopefully.
I think when it comes to, like you mentioned, Space Marine, for me it was a case of Space Marine did really well at capturing the brutality that you kind of get in the Games Workshop world, but at the same time things were pretty easy because it's like, well, you're a Space Marine, you're meant to just pretty much like slaughter through and just kill everything, but at the same time that's not how it works. Like Space Marines, yeah, they're built tough and everything, but pretty much everything else is quite tough as well. Like, there's a difficulty that needs to kind of show through as well. And you guys have really kind of gone with, no, this is a hard game. Like, you will die a lot.
You will die a lot. I cannot underemphasize that one. You will die a lot. And I'm dying by the thrones here as well.
Yeah, I just noticed conveniently one of your Marines copped it just as we were like, well, he's going to die.
Yeah, but that is Space Hulk in an essence. It is a tough game, and it should be a tough game. It gives you that satisfaction of actually cracking the nut and surviving by the threads sometimes, and sometimes it just tilts the other way around. Dice gods not in your favor in that round. Yeah, but going back to the Space Marine part, I mean, for me it wasn't. I liked the art style, and I also liked the game as such, but just didn't capture the essence of what 40k is for me. It's more squads and lots of units instead of one guy going rampant. So just never did it for me, but others like it. Great for them. I just want to play turn-based 40k.
I want something that involved a little more loss on my side, and that really kind of comes through in Space Marine, because it's a case of, as a standard like grunt Space Marine, you're pretty much nameless and faceless, and things may end up going badly for you quite a lot of the time. You're essentially a red shirt in Star Trek. You may survive for a little bit and you may do your job, but eventually you're going down, and then you're just going to be another number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and our game is different. It's different. Because now I'm going to see the effect. I'm actually winning this one, so I'm happy.
See, there you go. You can basically be like, see, my strategy works.
My strategy works. It does. And I'm even going to move my Terminator Sergeant up so that he's going to be consumed in the flames.
No, not Barry.
And my Heavy Flame is going to die as well, but hey, who cares? He's going to fulfill his role of flaming the control room. Gene Stealers contained.
Glory to the Emperor.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking lengthwise for the game? How far are you going in that kind of way?
Well, we're doing the Sin of Damnation campaign from the 3rd edition board game, and that encompasses 12 individual missions, and even now the first one, Suicide Mission, is a pretty small one. Takes you 20 minutes maybe to play through that. Some of the larger levels further down the road, they can take up to an hour and a half to play through one of the missions, and just gives you this 10-15 hour kind of playthrough if you make each an individual one and win it the first time, which is not going to happen. There's lots of replayability options, and that we're going to add a free level editor so you can build your own, share levels and download from others. We have multiplayer as well. You can either hot seat, play it like the board game. So one player can play the Terminators, and another player can play the Gene Stealer side, swapping on the same device, or you can play that over a network. And the really cool thing that I think we are adding, but that really makes it for me, is that we're going to design some co-op individual missions so that I can play with my mates. Instead of having to kill them, I can play with them. And we can eradicate the Gene Stealers together. That's going to be really cool. I control a squad, you control a squad. We can drink some beer and have fun.
You were mentioning about replayability. What kind of persistence are you going for between levels, just so people get an idea of the game in that aspect?
You will have the ability to. I mean, the Sin of Damnation campaign has these 12 named heroes, and they're really fully adorned, fully veteran Terminators. So those cannot be upgraded in any way. But you can create a replacement Heavy Flamer and name him yourself. And as you play the game, you can unlock adornments you can put on him. You can have purity seals. You can have a different colored shoulder pad, and so on. And that's going to add some replayability of unlocking these things. We're also having a personalized banner system. So as achievement unlocks, you can get symbols for your banner that is going to represent you in multiplayer, that you can show off to your friends that you beat the game 3 times on the highest difficulty, and you're going to get some unlock banner images that's going to show that off to the world. You're a really awesome Space Hulk player.
Basically, just no, 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 no.
Bragging, bragging, bragging. Yes, exactly. Rub it in the nose.
Bragging rights, right, great. So, are you looking at a release schedule of any kind, or is this still a case of it will be done when it's done? We're not going to say anything because we want to make it right.
Both of those. Both of those. We're already at the point where we have the entire game playable. The demo here has 5 of the missions available for play and in the public, but we already have all 15 missions playable completely, and the multiplayer is being added right now. So everything is on track for this fall, where we're going to release on PC for Windows and for Mac, and then we have in the works the iPad version. It's going to be released slightly later, and to really top that off, you can have the multiplayer network part is cross-platform, so you can take some turns on your windows. You can go over in the train, take a few turns in the same game with your iPad, and come home again and continue the game on the PC. So it's really awesome.
That's quite an interesting way of doing it. But if that goes, you've really got to kind of make sure that's right. If it goes wrong, that's going to go horribly wrong. But if it works, that's brilliant. You can actually just be like, okay, I'm going to take my turn, and then my mate, he's working but not too much, so he'll kind of jump into the game. He'll take his turn when he can, and then he'll tab out and do his thing, and you can just casually play a game turn by turn throughout the day.
Yeah, and you can have multiple of these going on, similar to Wordfeud kind of slot system, so you can have multiple games going on with different people, and just take your turns in these individual games as they come in.
That's great. The game's looking beautiful, and it's really nice to actually see it and be able to touch it, be that close, and you have no idea how tempting it is to just kind of hit you with the laptop and then run off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so super excited as well. Me as a fan can actually play my own game and super enjoy it and see that yes, I got Space Hulk right here at my fingertips. Not having to spend an hour setting up and trying to find somebody who wants to play with me. I can just turn on game and get it in full glory.
That's great. Well, Thomas, thank you very much for letting us take a look at Space Hulk. It looks so good, so very, very good. And I wish you all the best with your game. Is there anywhere that people can go to find out more or keep up to date with what's going on information-wise?
Yes, we have a website, spacehulk-game.com. We also have a Facebook site, and we have a newsletter. So people can sign up on Facebook, where we're posting regularly, or the newsletter that comes out once a month, to keep track of pre-orders and order, and once we get further down the road, different events that we can have around Space Hulk.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.